Hey Reefers! So today we're going to talk about skimmers. Andy has very kindly gifted me a new skimmer because he's sick to death of me moaning about my skimmer and being too tight to buy a new one. So we're going to go through this new skimmer, which is the Nyos Quantum 120. We're going to unbox it, we're going to build the skimmer, and we're going to talk through what makes a good skimmer. A skimmer can be the most essential part of running a successful aquarium. It's the heart of my system, although you wouldn't think it looking at my old skimmer, but it is the heart of my system and the way I run it. I'm going to break it down a bit, talk about what things to look for, what things do in the skimmer, and I'm going to give my initial thoughts on the lovely new Nyos Quantum 120. So let's get into it.
And we'll start with the breaking of the seal, as we do in every good unboxing video. Inside the box, you've got the bubble plate, which features the Nyos twister. I'm excited to talk about that. The pump, unfortunately, doesn't come with a UK adapter, so yeah, not cool, Nyos. We've got the body of the skimmer, which is featuring the wine bottle shape and the collection cup. And a couple of manuals, which we won't need, and the quick start guide. Start with that. So a closer look at what's in box. You've got the body of the skimmer in the wine bottle shape. You have the pump of the skimmer, which I have already attached to the base. It was just a little bit fiddly. You've got to undo these screws, get the skimmer in place, and reattach it. Really easy to do, just a little bit fiddly. As you can see, my concentration phase is in full swing. Just be mindful not to go too tight as well on the base, because you may crack the acrylic. So it's attached, and as you can see, I just pointed out there's a little sort of spongy base, which is really going to help reduce the vibration noise. Skimmer cup, pretty straightforward, nice design. I like the curve here because that's going to create a downward pressure, which is going to stop the lid hopefully popping off, which does happen with my current skimmer. And the bubble plate, which is really exciting because it has a sort of Beyblade feature on it, which is the twister. That's really going to help control the propulsion from the pump. And we've got the Venturi, which is what it is. This is where your oxygen and water meet to go through the pump, the tube, which is obviously for your intake, and the screws. I'm really impressed with these titanium screws. Much less likely to break than the normal plastic ones that you get. And a quick start guide. So let's build the skimmer. And we'll start by talking about the pump, because the pump is the heart of the skimmer. The pump's responsibility is to bring water and oxygen through and up into the reaction chamber. And inside your pump, you've got the needle wheel. So the needle wheel is really important for breaking down the oxygen coming through into micro bubbles, because the micro bubbles are essentially what gather the organic waste in the reaction chamber. This has absolutely loads of little needle pins on there, so yeah, it's I'm interested to see how this performs really. And yeah, really easy to get to if you do need to get in there and do some maintenance, which we all have to do from time to time. Check the turnover as well. This is perfect for me, but obviously your aquarium size will require a different turnover. The bubble plate, now this looks really interesting because it's got the twister feature. Essentially what the bubble plate does is control the propulsion from the pump into the reaction chamber, and this twister feature looks like what essentially it's going to do is create a tornado effect going up the skimmer, which in turn is going to ensure that there's as much contact time with the water as possible to gather more organic waste. Another thing to look for is the size of the skimmer. Make sure it's appropriate for your tank. Look at the body of the skimmer. I really like the wine bottle feature because what that does is it tapers in at the top, encouraging the microbubbles and the organic waste to combine and be removed from the aquarium. So as you can see, we're pretty much done with the assembling of the Quantum. I just want to mention air intake, which is obviously really important. I love this. The fine-tuning possibilities seem endless with this. You've got one to control your water level, one to control your air intake, which will probably make things a lot easier now, because I was sick to death of trying to tune my skimmer, which had seized. There was just one stick, and it was just a headache every single time I had to do that. So overall, I'm really impressed with the Nyos. I'm really impressed with the materials they've chosen to use for this. It looks to me like they've put a lot of thought into where the skimmer will live, the things it will be up against in the tank, salt being obviously the main thing, which destroys anything you put in there really. So yeah, overall really impressed. First impressions are good. The only downside I would say is the fact there's no adapter for the plug in the box, but I've resolved that by nicking my wife's adapter from her electric toothbrush. So Nyos, if you can think of us in the UK, that would be nice. Yeah, really impressed with the product. Thanks again to the other half of Radical Reefers, Andy, Radical Aquatics, for gifting me this. I really appreciate it, mate. Looks like a fantastic product. So yeah, let's see how we get on. We'll check back in a few weeks, see how the Quantum's performed, and yeah, please, if you can, don't forget to give us a subscribe and a like if you've enjoyed the video, and please drop us a comment if there's anything you want to ask or anything you want us to do differently. We are all ears and we are new here, so we appreciate the support. Until the next one, remember, plenty more seeing the fish.